Hello? How is everyone? Hello, Jack, James, Jenny. Hello, Roxana, Bill, Jonathan, Tanya, Alexis, hello. Jose, hey, we've got a lot of people already. Wait a little bit. Hey, James. Gary, Matt, a whole bunch of other people. Hello, Roxana, how are you? Cynthia, how are you? Anthony, hey, I see. Hey, Mike, hey, how are you? So we'll wait a little bit and then start with today's festivities. Hey, Denny, a lot of people. I'm doing great. It's very, very cold here in the Chicago area, like crazy cold. And but now it's snowing. There's probably, for people outside of the United States, in front of my house, there's probably 1.5 meters of snow. That much didn't fall, but that's how much is there with snow drifts and plowing the streets. And but it's really cold. For people in the United States and that use our measuring system, literally like 4.5 feet, 5 feet of snow in the front. It's crazy. Now, I want to talk about a couple things. One, I'm playing a really beautiful guitar. Sawtooth is doing something brand new. A lot of people have heard about guitars that are called relics, where they try to make them, they're new guitars that are made to look old. And I just want to play it. Somebody commented on my personal page if this guitar could be metal. I've actually never played a telly shape with humbuckers before in my life till I got this. Sounds pretty metal to me. I like it. See, Joey likes it. And all I can tell you is this. This is a really amazing guitar. And what I was saying, and then I'll get to the lesson, that Sawtooth is doing something brand new and unique. Not a lot of companies, few companies offer relics, where they literally take like a master builder or some guitar luthier and they beat the heck out of it. It looks like it was in World War I, and then they beat the heck out of it, but it's a brand new guitar. And what Sawtooth is doing now is they are offering relics, but they're doing it a different way. These are literally hand done in the factory. But there's the one thing that I never liked about the relics that other companies do. They relic the hardware. What if I'm on tour and I'm ripping and boink, something breaks on the hardware? What are you supposed to do? They put acid on this stuff. They age it. Age, to me, when you do that to this, call me crazy, call me insane, but you are actually weakening the pieces a little bit. You're rusting them out. You're making them look old, and they feel old and they act old. And if it breaks, what are you going to do? See, what Sawtooth did is something so cool that I address this immediately. Now I know you can see the light. It is a relic guitar. The neck, look at this. That's bad, man. I mean, it's all relic and beat up. The hardware's new. Why? Because you can use it. I could bring this guitar on tour, and that's so cool. And the sound, I mean, it just sounds amazing. And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. And when I talked to one of the owners, Joe, about, the relic idea, I always told him I never liked the idea that the hardware is relic. I like the idea of the body because it doesn't matter if the body's beat up, it's going to get beat up on tour anyway. But parts break when you were on a tour. I'm sorry, but if you're a race car driver, stuff in your car is gonna go. You know, if you're a baseball player, you're gonna need a new bat. You know, you can't use the same equipment all the time. Things get worn. And so when you have new hardware on this relic, it's bad. And then the price is just, you can't beat it. But anyway, now I want to get to this lesson. And then I'm going to come back to the guitar because I'm so excited about these relics. How to keep improving and how to stay motivated. Now, it's no secret that I've been around a long time. I have toured for almost 30 years around the world. Why do I look like that? It's like shell-shocked. Not from touring, from not touring! We haven't done a show in almost a year. Robert's almost ready to say something, but he's ready to show you something new today. I'll show you. See, Joey gets mad. Listen. I'm tired of Robert getting all the yada, 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 yada. Him. How about me? It's me. I, Joey. No, how about Joe I? Shut up. So, here's what I'm trying to say. If I can stop Joey from talking here. When you play guitar for a long time, and even when you're not playing for a long time, it's like working out, and I always make analogies to sports. I don't think musicality is the Olympics. I don't think that. I think musicality is feelings. I get intense feelings when I hear songs. A lot of people get them, some people don't. Can you imagine going through life not really getting a feeling for songs? For music, there are people out there like that. There literally are. I've read articles about it, studies. I just happen to be one of the lucky ones that do feel, when I hear everybody wants to rule the world. When I hear that song, it takes me back. Like, welcome to my life. There's no turning back. I love that song. And I love it the same way today that I loved it when I first heard it way back in the 80s. And that's what the power of music is. Great music evokes feelings. Now, I can't teach that. I can't show you that, but I can give you the tools that will enable you to create that. And that's what my lessons really are about. It's not about, play like Michelangelo Batio because, why? Because like Guitar World said, he's faster than you. Well, big deal. I never claim to be the fastest. Yeah, I'm super fast, and I like it. I'll admit, I like it. If I'm sitting there playing, I'm going to... Faster! Not master. Faster! See, I would write faster of puppets, not master of puppets. But anyway, what I do to motivate myself is something that I think is, my brother-in-law is really smart, and I confer to him with a lot of things, and he's like, and I have another friend, Rob Ross, the drummer that I brought on here that played on No Boundaries and 2X Again and Rainforest, but he's a counselor, and I think of him like Yoda. Like, for example, if somebody says, you know what, man? Like, I've been just drinking way too much lately. You know what he would say? Don't drink. Hello? It's so simple. If you are in, and here's where I'm getting to with all this. I just like to have fun with these lessons. When you play, you reach, it is not a steady progress like this. And it's not this way either. What happens is you make some progress, then you reach a plateau. Then you make some more progress. Then you might regress a little bit. You might, it's kind of like walking upstairs. You might take a step, and you're like, man, I'm progressing. Then you might take another step. Then you might take a step back. Or you might stay on that same step. Then you might take 2 steps up, but you might take 3 back if you put it down. And so here's one of the things that I can tell you to keep improving. When I did my Metal Method programs, and what I learned of the methodology of the great teachers of the past and the great famous books of the past and the way they went about, the methodology of teaching different, piano or even guitar, short exercises work. And why do you do this? If you are in a rut, there's a couple things you can do. One, get another guitar, change your environment, practice a song. See, one of the things that I love to do, you have to find what you need to do is switch your goal up a little bit. Like big chunks of data and information are great, but it's when an athlete says one game at a time, that's so real. But it's like when I used to play Bach 2 and 3 part inventions at the university when I studied piano, I studied classical piano. We literally talked about this. It's one measure at a time. You take it in small increments, and all of a sudden you start to realize you're building and building and building. And so to improve, for example, I'm going to show you something that I've been working on, and Robert's really proud of this. And also the motivation to change your environment, to change the routine, change the room you're playing in. I have guitars strategically placed all over my house. I'm in the studio of my house. You can't really see it right now. I'll kind of move it upward here. Do you see all that stuff in the background? I've got 2 mega beautiful cameras. The whole area is becoming black so that I can film a lot of content. This part is the recording studio. So I have my console here. Actually, the console's in the computer now. But, I used to have this big console there. You don't need that stuff. That's 80s. I hate to say I was in the 80s, so I know. But, it's all on the computer now, but that's all here. So this kind of room is for recording. But I find that I love to sit here and just practice. And what I do is I take different guitars, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Sawtooth. Look, I truly believe in Sawtooth Guitars. They are doing something to help everybody. They just make phenomenal guitars, and they make them so reasonably priced, and they're so good. And I mean, just this, and they do innovative things. A million people said, "Oh man, you can't do a hybrid guitar. Magnetic fields." I'm like, yeah. Tell Heinz, listen, talk to Einstein. Oh, he's dead. Oh. You can't talk to Einstein, so you got to do it yourself. So the point of it is that everybody says what you can't do. There's always 50 reasons. I can't do this. I can't do this. Well, give me one reason why you can do it. Just one. That's all I need. I don't look for why I can't. I look for why I can. We did it. Nobody did what we did. Yeah, people say Steve Morse guitars. I love Steve Morse as much as everybody. He didn't do what we did. He has a great guitar. I'm not discounting anything that he does. He just didn't do what we did. And we did something new, and now a lot of players are starting to play it and understand the what we did and how awesome it is. Just like with these relics. I wanted a beat-up looking guitar with newer hardware. Call me crazy, because if you can't replace a part, what good is that guitar? If it's so, when you rust out these parts, do I really want, I don't care about wood being beat up. That's different. When you rust out a part, and that part is weakened structurally, why the heck would I pay $3,000 for a relic that's really relict and really looks like it was in World War I and plays like it too? So I don't want a guitar that plays like bad. I want a guitar that looks cool, that looks classic and vintage, but it plays. And so that's why I love this so much. But I'll tell you what, just using a guitar like this that I never use. I know you can see kind of the circular light that I have for lighting here on this. I can't help that. That's just what it is. Modern lighting in the 21st century. But it opened up some really cool ideas for me, because I never understood the logic of humbuckers on a telly. You know, John Five played. I love John Five. He sounds amazing. He's a great guy. Looks cool. I love him. But you know, I always ask myself why he could play any two humbucker guitar, but this body shape, the way the guitar is configured, has a little different sound, and that's what makes this so cool. So how do you keep improving? Work on a song, work on a new exercise, work on something short like one of the different exercises in Speed Kills and master it. Take a small chunk of data and wrap your head around that instead of being overwhelmed and bogged down by, oh no, I got 3.5 more minutes of this song. Ah! You know, or I can't get this riff. I can't get this riff. Well, put it down and move to something else. And to stay motivated, create new environments for yourself. Now, I told you that Robert's pretty happy with this. I'm going to show you what I've been working on. People my whole life have told me I have a very unusual picking technique. What? All day. I can do it all day. All night too. Over and over. See, this is Joey talking. I see. If I could swear, Joey would be saying, okay, I'll say feet bitches. Joey's in the groove now. So is Robert. I can just do this and land perfectly. I can do it all day. Now, I like it. It's fun. But I do it sometimes just to improve stamina. I also do not use a metronome. Now, people say, what? That's blasphemy! Oh my God, man! No. You know what I use? Drum software. Why? When you are in a rut, one of the coolest things you can use is turn on a drum program and get a beat. Just get a beat, go. Like I remember before I moved to California, this is around, I posted something about, I backed up Kiss when I was 18 years old. We actually won a battle of, like a contest to open up. We went first. Another band that were friends of mine went second, and I think they wanted to go on second because they thought it was, they're ruling over us. They were booed off the stage because everybody wanted Kiss. We were like, but I had this riff, and it was very simple. But I used to just think of beats in my head. I had an old organ, literally an organ, and it had drum machines like, or the bossa nova. It had rock beats. It had a marching style like, and so what I did was, and you could speed it up and slow it down a little bit. So it was called a Lowry organ. It had bass pedals. I used to literally, and it was 1 octave in the key of C. So I used to play the bass pedals, play guitar, have the drums going. But I had this thing going, and I just went like this. Now, I was 18 when I wrote this. Really simple stuff, but I had that beat going. And I used to love that beat. And that's where I came up with that kind of wild song on my latest album. I even liked the chug way back then, although it wasn't as chuggy because I didn't know Metallica yet. But here's what I wanted to talk to you about what Robert's been doing. This is another thing that keeps me motivated and keeps me improving. And like I said, I'm going to get close. I've been in music a long time, a long time. Now, I'm not all wrinkly. I'm like a vampire. I know my face is all red. Last week I was out. I had to be in the cold last week because I have a service that shovels my driveway, a snow removal service, but they didn't plow the street. So my driveway is nice and clean. The plow comes, puts a 4 feet, like over a meter mound of snow blocking me. I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out of my house. I mean, I could get out of the door, but I couldn't go anywhere. So I had to do it old school. I had a shovel, and I was out there. I'm like a polar bear. I don't really get cold that much. I didn't realize my face was exposed to the elements like that. And I came in, I was just so bright red. I mean, it was just like, it was cold. And, the coldest days are the sunniest days too. I don't know if you know that, but when it gets super, super cold out, 99% of the time it's really sunny. So, you look out your window, you think it's a beautiful day, and then you go outside for 5 minutes and you're dead. I mean, it's insane. But anyway, getting back to this, let me show you something that I've been working on. I talked about my unusual picking technique. Now, sorry, I'm using 2 amps, the 25-watt solid state with the awesome reverb. I'll show the clean sound. And I'm using my 40-watt signature tube amp with a greenback Celestian. It's just really amazing. And it's got this beautiful Celestian, and it's got effects loop and verb and all that. But anyway, and then I put a little delay in through the effects loop. But here, my picking technique where I anchor my fingers. Robert's been working on something new. The other technique that I've talked about numerous times, where people like Al Di Meola, Robert Fripp, Joe Bonamassa, a lot of country guitar players, they have a free-floating system. I've been working on it. Listen to the difference. Now what? It's a really tight sound. So I've been working on getting Robert to do 2 different techniques so that I'm going to be, it's kind of like alternate picking versus economy picking. I'm really good at both. I'm really good at it. And so what I do to keep improving and to keep motivated is I have a list of things to do and I handwrite it. Now this is something that's really important. I'm really good with computers, and me being the Gemini that I am and being left-handed, I'm very good with Macs and I'm good with PCs. So I understand why we need both. I mean, when I'm creating music or any kind of video, it's always Mac. But Metal Method, Doug Marks uses a PC when he uses Adobe Premiere, and it's really good. So, there are certain programs that are very close both ways. So it's really kind of like, what do you like, Apple, or, do you want a Galaxy or do you want an iPhone? I mean, that's your preference. But for myself, I find that I like qualities of both. And when I change up my environment, when I change a picking technique, this is a radical thing. Most people have to play the way they play. What I did is I said, okay, I've got this picking technique down, but there are certain things about it that I don't want to do. And so, yeah, it's great for sweeping. It's great for that. But this technique of this free-floating mechanism has a lot of advantages. So I said to myself, how am I going to keep improving? You know, I've mastered the art of playing lightning fast, as I said, in Speed Kills, but I want to do more with the pick. So how about trying a new technique? There are two basic picking techniques. So, so, so I said Joe Bonamassa uses the close, but he sometimes uses it open hand position, meaning putting your fingers down on the guitar. And so it's either you put your fingers down or you don't. And it's a very, like when you watch gypsy jazz, they don't. They keep their hand moving over. It's a really great technique. So why should I limit myself and Robert limit himself? See, this is the first time he's actually communicated. See, he's saying yes. It's like, it's a fulfilling thing to just work on something new. See, that's what you have to do. You have to switch gears. To keep improving, to keep motivated, you just have to say, enough. Done here. Move lateral, up or down. Move somewhere else but where you are at. And I don't mean move like pick up all your belongings and, move to Nashville. Well, I just mean move away from the thought process that is keeping you in the space that you are at. And so now I'm going to switch amps here. And let me tell you why this is such a cool guitar. I'm going to talk a little bit about the guitar, then I'll come back to this lesson. But, motivation, I sent this meme. There was a meme, and I sent it to this friend of mine that is no longer a friend. And I'm kind of glad this person's out of my life, actually. But I sent a meme that says, it showed a woman holding hands with other people around. And it said, no matter who you walk with, you always walk alone. And I sent this to her, and she's just a friend, nothing more. And she flipped out. And like, how dare you say that? And see, that's not the point of this. I have great people in my life. I have what's left of my family, my brother-in-law, my nephew, and my cousins, and we're super close. I have great friends, best friends, Rob Ross, Mark McNally. The people at Sawtooth are my friends, like my brothers. And so I have great people in my life, but ultimately you walk alone in your own head. Your own head is your head. And I can't, I never tell somebody, oh, I know how you feel. How the heck do I know how you feel? I can empathize with you. I can maybe say, well, I've had similar experiences, but I don't know how you feel. You don't know how I feel. But so we are always in our own head. And so that means that if you're in a rut or you're in a place, even in your life, where you're saying, man, this is just going nowhere, you've got to take a step in another direction. And it could be small, but I recommend small increments when practicing. Just find something new. Like, check this out. I have been beating the heck out of this guitar on heavy. I love the reverb on this. I go. Okay, this is why humbuckers in a telly body sound so. It just got this cool. Got such a cool sound. It pops like a Telecaster. Now, not everyone. Somebody, there's always some Weisenheimers. I like that word. It's an old word, but I haven't used it in a long time. But there's always people online that just, I don't understand us sometimes. I don't understand why people feel the need to just criticize and criticize. I just don't get it. But, it's not me, but people do, and there's nothing I can do about it. But this the way Sawtooth builds guitar. Now that is the neck position. See, it's got that elastic kind of sound that it should have. And so now I understand why the John Fives of the world like this kind of telly. If you put extreme overdrive like I did, using the 40 watt, you get metal. Now, is it as metal as Metallica? No, but you've got this intensely rocked out guitar, but you can also do really cool stuff like last week, I was goofing around. We, at Sawtooth, we did a concert, and it's got Rudy, sorry, I'm just tuning up here. We had Rudy Sarzo on bass and Vinny Appice on drums and Melody Christia, you know, the young lead singer from Lilac. She was doing lead vocals. So we did songs of all of us. We did a Lilac song, one of mine, and a lot of Vinny Appice songs. I mean, guys, you know, Rainbow in the Dark, he played on it. You know, Heaven and Hell, he played on it. Then you had Rudy Sarzo, Fool for Your Lovin', he played on it. He played with Randy Rhoads. So when we went, he really played on it. It's one thing, you know, it's like when I went, you know, when I played Eye of the Tiger, it's online, I played it with Jim Peterick. He wrote it. Big difference. It's one thing to play Eye of the Tiger, it's another to play with the author of the song. So anyway. Position. That song is called Louisiana Blues. It's like, if the river was whiskey, like if the river was whiskey, I was a diving duck. I love that. But do you hear that elasticity that the tone has? So in keeping with the lesson topic today, to keep improving, to keep motivated. Now, it's easy to say for me because I've got over 175 guitars, but different guitars motivate me in certain ways. And if you get anything out of this lesson today, motivation comes from within. Improving comes from within. You can have 1 million people around you, but that meme was correct, that you still walk alone when it's in you're in your own head. You know, until we can find the time where we can communicate, all of us telepathically, we're in our own heads. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, it doesn't mean we don't want people around us, because I always want great people around us. That's why we're doing so well with Sawtooth. We have amazing people. I mean, ask another guitar company on their 2021 guitars if they're in stock. They're not. These are. You can get this now. It's on a flash sale now. These are in stock. What a novel concept. New for 2021. Well, when can we get it? 2022? Yes! What? So it's kind of like, what? Exactly. And so the idea, yes, let's sell something we don't got for about a year. That's the way a lot of these music companies think because they do. I don't know why. I played thousands of music stores literally in my life. I've seen it all. I've seen Tollman, which I don't care. I love. There are so many unique stores. Hell Creek Music and More in Montana is one of the greatest stores I've ever seen in my life. It's so unique. And I've seen a few of stores, but you never compare, just like cities. I've also seen Thomann in Germany, where they employ 1,500 people. Basically, the town revolves around Thomann. And I know Hans Thomann. I went out to dinner with him. We hung out. He's amazing. He's great. And what a visionary. He's just so cool. And it's not, see, the thing that I loved about Hans, it's not just about the money. He's got more money than he knows what to do with. He has a lifestyle that revolves around what he does. That's what we do here. Look at the vibe when you see the photos of Sawtooth. Sorry, I'm beating the heck out of this guitar. I just literally got it. I didn't change strings, do anything. I just loved it. I was playing it all last night, just ripping on it. And but this guitar is just so expressive. But getting back to what I was saying about Thomann and even Steve Burry from Hell Creek Music and More, they're really passionate about what they do, and they set up their environment. It's them, and it's an extension of them. This is what we do. I love to help people. But it helps me to help myself. See, if I never played a guitar like this, and then I got to play it for the first time, I'm like, wow, this just sounds so cool. Like, it's just cool sounding. To do when we played Little Wing, we added the Eric Clapton part. So and then somebody wrote "sound like chicken." This way too, holding it right there. Just a great sounding guitar. Now I'm going to go over a couple things on this, and then I'm going to wrap this up. This guitar, look at it up close. See, it's relicked out, like you can see. Well, it's hard to see with this. It's beat up. Look at the neck on this. Like, the paint's off. You can see there's, like, chips in it, like up there, but the hardware is new. So you get this relic that Somebody asked about a scalloped fretboard. Don't like them, sorry. I don't like the rhythm sound of it. I just don't. And I think vibratos can be just as good without a scalloped fretboard. I'm not a huge fan of those. And put it this way, you can never, ever get a Metallica chunky rhythm or a Degent chunky rhythm on a scalloped. It just sounds, it's just not right. I don't know, there's something about it. And plus you're limiting the amount of wood. You're taking wood away from the guitar, so you take something away, I'm sorry. You know, you take something out, that takes away. Now, maybe it adds in other ways, it could, but I'm not a big proponent of scallop. Like getting back to this is an ash body, it's really light. This is a Canadian maple neck. It's a really, I love maple necks. It's a really beautiful neck. This is a sandalwood fretboard. You know, there was a big issue with rosewood a couple years ago where it was banned in a lot of countries, and you know, it was, you know, and then you had to go through hoops just to get a rosewood guitar. And it's a wood that's not readily available, but sandalwood is, and sandalwood has a moisture content very similar to rosewood. Well, we use sandalwood on these necks. It's great. And also, I cannot stress enough, this is a hand-done relic. So, you know, they have a template of what it's supposed to look like, but each guitar is individually made. And you know, the other thing is, too, these are medium jumbo frets. Only Sawtooth has this fret. So if you are a traditional guitar player and you don't like the big jumbo frets of the shredders, you're gonna like this. If you are somebody like me who only used jumbo frets for a long time, I love these medium jumbo frets. It's not a leap of faith to use it. And also, too, this guitar, look at it. You know, when you look at it and you have this pickup, it's so close to the neck that it just gets that really thick, round sound that I love. Like, just got a really, really cool sound. So one of the last things too, I wanted to talk about, if you are in a rut, learn something new. Tom Morello just talked. If you don't know who he is, he was in Rage Against the Machine, Audio Slave, plays with Bruce Springsteen. He's one of the, like, you know, he just does a lot of effects, a lot of cool, and he's a great guy. But I taught him, and when it was actually kind of by accident because he was taking lessons from somebody else at the local music store. It was called the Music Gallery in Highland Park, which is where I taught Frank Leona. He's still the owner, George, and everybody. Like, Frank and George have been there ever since I've been 16 years old. That's how long I've known both of them. And they're like brothers to me. They're lifelong friends. But the Music Gallery is an amazing store, and it's still there right in Highland Park off Green Bay and Route 22. But anyway, I had a break, and also, the guitar has Sawtooth design pickup. Sorry, I just read that. But anyway, getting back to Tom, he was taking lessons from another teacher there that was sick. So I was kind of like a substitute teacher, and I blew his mind. And because I already had my methodology, I was going to college at the time, but I had majored in music theory in high school. So I already had a really extensive background in music, and I already had my methodology under wraps and planned out because I had taken classical piano and understood how the centuries before any of us here were born, how they used to teach, El Nicos, to answer that person's question. And so anyway, what Tom did is he said, he likes to say that he's never taken lessons, but he has sang my praises many times now, and I can't thank him enough. He's one of the premier guitarists of our age. And just as a stylist, a writer, I mean, just this. I get a feeling just by those notes. Just by those notes, I get a feeling from it. And then because you can hear, ba, boom, da, 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 ba, ba, ma. You can hear the chords behind it. It's just so cool. But anyway, Tom said that when I taught him, it was literally a musical epiphany, and it changed his life. Now, he said it, not me, but this is what I can do to help you if you get my Speed Kills programs. It's at Metal Method, metalmethod.com. I have literally 13 different programs. And again, it's in keeping with this. If you want to improve, if you want to keep learning, if you want to keep being motivated, try something short. Take one of the exercises in Speed Kills, work on it. Just work on it. And you'll find things that you do to help yourself in other directions will help and reinforce what you already know. Or it might change something for the better and say, wow, I can do it. It's kind of like when I first learned the song Blackbird, and I did like. Those are the right notes, but I didn't learn it like that. I figured it out. I went like I was doing something in like the first position. I can't even remember it anymore. And I said, this is really hard to play. And I said, call me crazy. As much as I love Paul McCartney, why would he play it like that? And I said, there's got to be a better way. So another way to keep improving and to keep motivated is if you're finding like a riff is hard to play or hard to execute, try fingering it and picking it a different way. Now, I've been listening a lot, like, for example, to Steve Vai's Crossroads, and he picks every note, and I would love to see him play this live because I don't know of anybody who plays it that fast to pick every note. But what I can tell you is this, that, when I played No Boundaries, it was my takeoff of Paganini, but I did, when I played it, it's one like, now see the Paganini, check this out, it's one note difference. Watch. Here's No Boundaries. Here's Paganini. Watch. See, like, mine is, like, see, I outlined a diminished triad. Paganini did not, he went. So if I was going to play the Paganini riff, I wouldn't play it like I did No Boundaries. So that's mine. Now here's the Paganini. So, and the idea is this, that when you do something, I heard the Paganini way, and I said, well, I wanted to do my way just a little different. And I ripped on it. and I was just playing the Paganini thing by just memory. So, because I haven't worked on it, but it's one thing I'd like to do. But there's so many things that you can do. And when you just change it up and mix it up, remember, you are the one in your own head. And so it's really how you think of things. And a great motivator is to change the environment. And that could be just to change the guitar. This guitar with the humbuckers just blew my mind. It's just like it's elastic. It's just something that other, for example, Les Paul style just doesn't have this kind of sound. So you can put humbuckers, lipstick, pickup, single coils, it doesn't matter. It's got that wang that I just love. I'm really sick of this pandemic. So this is like the COVID riff. Wait, we might only make it diminish. Now back to this. COVID, be gone! Be gone! See, if I played this long enough, people are gonna go, okay, you can stop now. No, stop now. That's the COVID riff. Why? Because it drives me nuts. I'm sick of it. I want to go on tour again just like everybody else does. You know, all my musician friends are like, can we just do a show? Can I like sign an autograph at a meet and greet, please? And so, but I'll say this, that if you know, in summarizing all this, if you are at a plateau, it's like working out. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about you must concentrate on the muscle, you know, and so you do. But you also have to concentrate on what you are doing. And if, see, a lot of times, like, people get into ruts. Remember one of the earlier live streams I said I had a teacher named Mrs. Ickes, and she said that as people, and I was in 8th grade, middle school, I was 12 years old, and no, 13, 12 and 13, because where my birthday is, it falls kind of on half of the school year. So, but anyway, what I was saying is that she said that as people get older, they get in ruts. And she said something, you know, tie your shoe a little, tie the other shoe first. Like if you always brush your teeth before you wash your face. I'm just making something up. Change it up. Change these little things, and all of a sudden, you find that these ruts are fewer and fewer. And it's the same thing about improving, because, see, a lot of people say, well, what is a good practice regimen? Well, you should study the exercises first to warm up. You should always warm up, and I have these great exercises in Speed Kills and on my Mental Method programs. I even show in one of my instructional programs the 10-minute warm-up that I have, which I do religiously. I do it all the time. It's very simple, but man, does it warm the fingers up. And then from that point on, it's you vary your workouts. Sometimes you want to focus just on exercises. Other times, you just focus on songs. And I found that one of the great things about this younger generation of guitarists, look how many playthroughs they do with Hotel California or Stairway to Heaven. Or like you get a drummer, really cute girl drummers. There's this girl from Germany, Raja. I don't know her name, but she's real cute, and nice figure. You know, she's got almost 400,000 followers, but she does covers of Slipknot to the Slipknot songs. Now, you can't sound too bad if you've got the actual music behind you, okay? So, but the idea is amazing, and she looks great, of course. You know, that's what's giving her the following, and she's a really good drummer. But the thing is, she's working on other people's music to make it more understandable when she writes music for herself. And so learn a new song, play a new guitar, get one of these relics, get a new exercise, change the room that you're in, do something different, and work on small chunks of data. That's another thing too, improve in small increments. Those small increments build and build. What if you learned a little new thing every day for a year? You have 365, or in a leap year, 366, but you have these little chunks of data that just accumulate and multiply and multiply. But anyway, the Sawtooth Relic, this with the humbuckers, it rules. It sounds fantastic. It gets great clean sounds, great overdrive sounds. It's nice and light with the ash body. Looks amazing. And it does something that, again, we boldly go where other guitar players don't go. We decided, don't relic the pieces, the metal pieces. Don't relic those, because you want to play this guitar. You don't want to look at it. You want to spend $3,000 and go, oh, this is cool. This is nowhere near $3,000. And it's just as cool, and it sounds just as good, and it'll last longer if you play it on tour than a guitar that's been reliced and all the other parts rusted out. But anyway, I just want to say I'm Angelo Batio for Sawtooth Guitars. Sawtooth amps, Chromacast, and Go DPS Music. See ya. I'll be back again next week.